Hello my good students, welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the US Naval Forces are around Guadalcanal in Operation Watchtower, and might I say it feels so good to be back. Thank you all for being so kind and supportive towards me having a bit of a break. It was very much needed. And it was a very special someone's birthday, like I did say, so that had to be to dedicate all my time towards that. I do apologise, but I hope you've all had a very good break in between as well. And again, thank you very much for being so supportive towards that. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. That is all 100 of you now. That is an amazing number to have reached. I'm so grateful to all of you. I wanted to get that out there before we started anything. Onwards and upwards, and different content to come in the future. We will have a look and more streams and such to diversify a little bit to keep you entertained. But nevertheless, let's go straight into the game now, shall we? We're going to do a massive recap because it has been a bit of a break to refresh all of our memories of what we were doing. So let's go to the strategic map and see what's going on. Okay, so first things first, we have of course captured the main islands around Guadalcanal, our main objectives here. We've also taken Santa Isabel just about, so that will tick over within this episode quite likely, depending on how long we play for. Our situation then currently is to defend Guadalcanal, and our aim is to build up the airfield there, and of course make use of the supplies that we have in Australia. In Cookton we have a few engineering and such there, but we have a lot of supplies and engineering and fuel in the Cairns, which we absolutely need to utilise. Be a massive waste if we leave them there not doing anything. So we're looking at going to use Task Force 8, I believe, and where are we? Task Force 10. What are we doing with this? It appears that we're not doing anything with it, so this needs to come back down to over here, I think. And what we're going to do is actually that is going to come about here. We're going to take the submarine as well, and I think these troops are going to just return to the New Hebrides for a second. Actually, no, I think we're going to send everything over to Australia. Like that. Can we not send everything at once? There we go. So what we're going to do is do a massive supply mission to Australia and take everything we can over there up to Guadalcanal, I think, and build up the airfield there. I think we're going to build up an airfield perhaps on Malaya, and to try and get a few more bombers and such off from there. Perhaps we shall have a look. What can we get off of here? This is a float plane based place on Santa Isabel, but we can get some Sunderlands, which is rather interesting. Only a couple, but I don't think it's worth upgrading that anymore. That'll just be a supply sink. We need to put all of our supplies into Guadalcanal. Combat wise, we are sending some Wildcats. We're sending 4 Wildcats from Guadalcanal, and we're sending 9 from the Bogue to cover some 8 Avengers. I thought we may have launched a few more, but I believe that is all available to us. It is indeed. Hopefully go to sink, or at least hit what we assume to be the Ryujo over here. This is certainly our main goal there. I'm not going to try hitting anything else. This will absolutely, if we do manage to sink that, we will have clearer skies in this sort of region over here. So with that being said, we're going to look at what our task forces over here are doing, if I gave them any orders, just to scout around Guadalcanal, I think, and bring a few things up there. Okay, interesting stuff. This is the Warrington, which we're replacing, of course. And that's going to go down to, it's going to repair in the New Hebrides. Speaking of repairs and such, we are going to look at our losses and the enemy losses. I know one or two of you have been asking for this for ages, constantly asking, not a problem. I do always forget to do this, which is not very fair on anyone. So, in the whole time we have been playing, all 26 campaign days we've been playing, we have lost a Fletcher, a Brooklyn, and a Summers. The Brooklyn, of course, being the heavier loss there. Rather unfortunate that we did do that, and that was to the Nagato, which we lost. In the dockyard then we have the Portland and the New Orleans. Portland going down in the first episode, which was Rather unfortunate, but we got struck by multiple float planes and a hunting pack of submarines. That got hit by a stray torpedo, I believe. And the New Orleans suffering a magazine explosion from the Nagato, which sunk the Brooklyn. However, enemy losses are far greater. We have many submarines downed, of course quite a lot of supply ships. We have destroyed a Tone and a Tenryu. We've destroyed a few destroyers as well. We got rid of a Miyoko, lovely stuff. So there's a few heavy cruisers under our belt. And we've destroyed the Akitsumaru, which was a escort CV, which is, I'll happily take that compared to our losses. It's very, very nice indeed. So looking in a decent position, I think. Would not have liked to have lost the Brooklyn, of course, but I think the first things first then, let's go straight into this. Actually, I lie there. I want to bring the Tambor straight up. We were chasing a carrier, and I think we've gone a little too far to chase that down. Perhaps we're going to go back and see if it's retreated itself towards Rabal over there. So first things first, let's get to this Ryujo. I think I will see you in a second. Alrighty then, so I'm sure the eagle-eyed among you may have seen that outside of Port Moresby we did have a submarine located. So we have launched some lightnings. We have launched them with some rockets because since we have detected this, it should have been on the surface of the water, and indeed it is. So with the HVRs we should be able to get this fairly quickly. I think we're going to increase our speed actually for the lightnings, just to make sure we do get that before it submerges, and that would be lovely if we could do that. That was the reason of launching lightnings, because they are quick. Otherwise we will have to go for this again, or at least leave it alone if it does submerge. So let's see how this goes, I suppose. I do apologise for being a little bit rusty with the commentary. It is a bit late at night as well. I'm trying to be a little quiet for my flatmate. Lovely stuff. That is absolutely excellent there. That is definitely going to go down. Let's take a quick report on that. Yeah, critical. Just need to wait around actually with a lightning or two, and we should get a report soon enough. So let's do that. Speed it up a little bit. There we go. It is indeed sinking. Lovely little easy win there, just to remove the threat over there. Let's send these back to base. Yeah, as I was saying, I do apologise for the rustiness of my commentary. It takes some time to get back into it. I do apologise. So let's get to this Ryujo, I think. Okay, so before coming to full contact, actually no, we are certainly in contact with this. Let's take a quick pause and see what we can see over here. It is in fact the Ryujo, and it does seem to be the one we hit with 1 or 2 torpedoes previously. We can't get a report just yet because we've not properly located it. This does have a lot of possible flak defense though. This is an air engagement, it did flag up as. We are going to take a quick look with our Wildcats towards our Avengers very quickly. I think we're going to get the Avengers to go down into striking altitude though, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of zeros here. I did want to wait for the rest of our Wildcats to come in, but I think we're going to have to try and take this opportunity. This is certainly not ideal. Like I said, I would have preferred to wait for more Wildcat cut support, because it's quite likely these zeros will rip through our Wildcats here. It's very tempting to just retreat out actually, but we will lose sight of the Ryujo if we do so. This is rather a risk. What is the distance between our Avengers and the Ryujo here? We're going to have to press play to find out. Let's tell them to go down to striking altitude and tell them to increase their speed, and we'll have a look. But otherwise, actually tell them to go straight for it because the angle will change. We shall see otherwise how the Wildcats get on. Otherwise I will order an instant retreat if they do not. I don't want, of course I'm not going to beat the zeros here, because I do want them to distract them, of course, long enough for our Avengers to get in. I am going to go just from the single direction here with our Avengers. We do not have the time to waste to how's that going? We've shot one down. Okay, well, that's something. That's something. No, I've lost 2 Wildcats already. This is going to be very, very rather difficult. Where are the rest of the Zeros going? Are they focusing on our Wildcats? It does appear to be the case there. Tell you what, if that's the case, I'm going to pause very quickly. And I'm going to draw the Wildcats away from the Zeros and see if they can retreat out. That might get hit on the tail as we retreat out, but hopefully it will take the Zeros away from us. Do only have this single Wildcat left now, so it's probably not going to be the case. We may, yeah, okay, I'm going to retreat straight out because these Avengers will be lost. I do apologise for that. We are moderate damage with the Ryujo, so we should only need a couple torpedoes there. But the problem here is, of course, that our Avengers are losing fuel by the second. So we shall wait and see what happens there. I shall see you in a second with a report. Okay guys, so we did manage to get contact back very, very quickly with the Ryujo's task force, and you can see them, I don't know, on your screens just on this line here from our Avengers. This is the best opportunity we're going to have for some time to strike this, so I am going to go all in, I think. It is rather likely we will lose our Avengers. I'm very much aware of that, but we just have to take the opportunity, I think. So we're going to form up in VIX and line ahead, so we're going to go down to 40 meters above sea level. I guess interesting that interesting they're in groups of 2 here, but so I'm going to keep it like that, just for the moment, like that, and we're going to increase our speeds. We are going to tell them to turn around like this and go straight at the Ryujo like that. It is, of course, generally a bad idea to go from one direction, but with these Zeros about, I don't want to waste any time. I want to go straight to the Ryujo there. We're going to get our Wildcats to increase their speed and go over and draw some flak fire, and of course these Zeros, which shall inevitably be here. And we're going to go straight over like that and see how it goes there, I think. Fingers crossed. Fingers very much crossed. And we do need to manage our speed once we get into range of the Ryujo, which is, of course, the #1 here. I'm going to identify that very quickly. Let's go to Japanese, and I believe it's on CV rather than CVE. It is indeed there. Lovely stuff. Let's get all our Avengers on top of that. Get the target spotted, just so we don't have to do it later on. No sign of the Zeros just yet. It's rather interesting, that. Very, very interesting. You know what? I'm going to pull our Avengers back round, if that's the case, and hopefully get the Wildcats over their ships. So hopefully the Wildcats take all of the flak fire from that. If that's the case, and of course it's simply better to go in first with the Wildcats, like that. So we're going to speed up a little bit. There we go, there's the Zeros. Okay, let's go straight in actually. Let's go straight in. We do not want to waste any time here. Like that. In fact, I think I'm going to tell people to attack straight away, like this. I do not mind about the position at all. Let's go in like that, shall we? And we will change our speed when we get closer, of course. We do want to rush the Ryujo as quickly as possible. If we manage to sink this Ryujo, like I said, I'll be very, very happy no matter what the losses are. We can simply send the Bogue back to the New Hebrides to rearm our plane stock. So let's check this. Yeah, this is going to be very, very tight here. Very, very tight indeed. Going over the, I believe, the Tonne here. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a Mogami on top. We've lost some Wildcats already. I'm going straight over the Destroyer here. It's not ideal, of course. I think now's probably time to reduce our speed a little over here so we can get a decent drop on. Let's check. I'm just going to pause because I can't get the mouse over properly. Yeah, let's reduce our speed here as well. Watch this group as well, please. And yeah, reduce our speed again here. And we have lost one Avenger. So if I lost 2, okay, let's reduce our speed again. I think we're doing okay. Got a few torpedoes in the water. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, we've got dropped with a fair amount. Duds, please no. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it does look like we actually got 3 torpedo hits, and there we go, it's sinking. Excellent stuff. I am very, very happy with that. Let's order a retreat as soon as possible. We did lose a hell of a loss of planes there. We lost 13 out of 17 planes. I will take your complaints. We've lost Ryujo and actually gained 3 command points. That's very interesting. Our command points have been all over the place with our engagements, suggesting that it is 1 per type of ship destroyed, but with a 3 on the single there, I will happily take that. So, 8,000 tons of shipping sunk, as well as a Ryujo loss. Excellent stuff. So let's return to base here. And what are we doing with the Bogue here? Do we have anything? It does appear we have a few supplies here. Okay, so we're going to send that, of course, to Guadalcanal before we send the Bogue back. And that would be lovely stuff. Next thing on the agenda then, like I say, is to send the Bogue back with this group. Back to the New Hebrides, I think, and we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, we will continue scouting around Guadalcanal with our ships and our planes and see what happens there. Lovely stuff, lovely victory. Very, very happy with that. So I'll see you in a second. Alrighty then, so we have come back a couple hours later, and we do have to fend off some Zeros from the Ryujo, which of course have nowhere left to go, so they are deciding to chase our Avengers down. But they are armed with some light bombs by the looks of it, so they are going for our invasion task force here. Not a problem, we should just be able to go in a line and see what happens there. We're going to turn around to get a few more AA guns faced on them, get a better line on there. We are going to see where they are targeting though. It does appear to be one of our front 2 destroyers there with this group, and perhaps the back destroyer here with this. And over here, okay, so what I'm going to do is of course brake over here, increase speed and turn in like that. Our Nestor can brake and increase speed and increase the turn just a little bit there. The Napier then can turn out, I think, like that. I think the Australia is going to be absolutely fine there, to be honest. Are these going to drop here? We've got a few glancing shots on them. They are smoking. Doesn't look like they've dropped. So they have. Okay, interesting stuff. Missing that. Let's change our course over here then. And change. They have dropped over here. Lovely stuff. We're going to reduce our speed then to make sure we don't crash over here. Australia was hit. I said that'd be absolutely fine. How is it? It is pretty much fine. A very nice glancing shot on some engineering over here. Very much a recoverable state over here. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff, lovely stuff. We're going to reduce our speed and turn out a little bit with this. And we should be... what is this? Some more Zeros coming in. Okay, interesting. So we're going to try and, of course, down as many as we can. That would be lovely stuff, wouldn't it? We're going to then turn out a little bit with this. And I think we're going to increase the time compression. See where those Zeros come in. It does... ooh, hang on, what's the... okay, brilliant stuff. It's looking at the map, it looked like the Napier was going to crash into our other ships there. I'm going to, of course, turn the Australia out like this and bring the rest of the fleet with it. The Napier can stop turning and actually keep us a decent speed there, I think. Let's get that to rudder amidships completely, and I think we're going to do the same with the Nestor over here. It might increase its speed a tad, just to give us a little bit more manoeuvrability. Of course, the Zeros have nowhere else to go if they were indeed launched by the Ryujo, which they absolutely should have been. There was nothing else in sight when we had that air engagement. So, oh, they've dropped lovely stuff. They're going for the Nestor over here. Excellent stuff. I'm going to actually increase the speed and brake with the Australia, just to throw them off a little bit. And I think it's safe to assume they're going to go for the Napier. So I'm going to increase our speed and turn with this as well. Lovely stuff. We'll shoot down a couple planes. Oh, it's very nice near miss there. And I do believe... excellent stuff. Australia hit by a dub bomb. That's the best source of bomb to get hit by, of course. My favourite source of bomb to get hit by. So I think we're looking good there. Not really much else we can do with this. No point chasing them down with surface-to-air flak. So it does look like we only shot down 3 planes, but that should absolutely not be a problem now. They should be... I don't know where they would retreat to, actually, since they have nowhere to go back to. Homeless dogs now, unfortunately. So, couple of things to take note of. We have, of course, still got sight on the remaining task force over here. We did see it was rather large with at least 2 heavy cruisers there. I do not want to take that on directly just yet with any of our surface fleets. That will be a rather bloody and costly battle. I'm sure we can win it, but I'm not sure what sort of losses we'll take in the process. So we will, of course, launch some planes off of Guadalcanal if we can. We've got a couple dive bombers available. We've got some float planes of some sort available on the Florida Islands here. If we can get something perhaps from the Reno Island and Santa Cruz, perhaps we can bombard that as well. But on the way up to Rabaul, we do sight another task force with our submarine. I'm not going to engage that just yet because we are on the aft of them, on the stern of them, and we are 23 kilometers away at least. We're not going to be able to hit that with our torpedoes, and they are of course much faster than our submarine. So that is not something we're going to be able to do just yet. I am going to make the town bomb move straight up to Rabaul still, but it is something to keep in mind that they have that task force there. We will try and scout that out in the future. Perhaps we'll get some more lightnings off of here, and in fact I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some rockets just for the endurance there to try and scout them out. And just so if we do come into contact with them, perhaps we can hit a destroyer or something along those lines. So that is that. I'm going to launch some more aircraft in the meantime to scout about, and I'll see you in a second when we have a situation report, quite likely fending off all of these catapult fighters launched from the task force over here. So we shall have a look. Alrighty then, so we have not managed to defend ourselves from those catapult fighters. They did in fact decide to look at us and retreat rather than start an engagement, which is absolutely fine by me. We did have some bow fighters scouting around with some rockets, and we have come across a single cargo ship yet again. The AI is seeming to think this is the meta tactic available. Yeah, we're just going to prove them wrong, I suppose. Hopefully this will be a rather clean shot. I'm liking the idea of going either bow to stern or stern to bow on the ships like this. Come on, come on, come on. It's a fair, oh, it's decent. We've got both magazines in that. That should absolutely go down rather soon. Let's form up and circle round just to make sure that goes down, I think. Just need to wait for that to burn down. Lovely stuff. That is a brilliant sight. Lots of it getting submerged with the list it's doing there. That should absolutely say critical and critical. Yeah, just need to wait around. So let's compress time, and there we go. Unfortunately, not the most exciting engagement there, but it is something nonetheless. So I'll see you back in a second. In fact, I have a small report to show you. We have sighted the enemy carrier. We did actually come into a small contact with it. The reason why we can see it is because, like the previous task force we saw with our Tambor, we got within 20 kilometers of it, but on the rear. So we are going to chase that down. It is going in a straight line towards Rabaul, so we should be able to catch that up later on. We did unload our supplies onto Guadalcanal here. It's not made the biggest difference anywhere there, but it is a little bit more progress towards the upgrades there, so we're going to send everything back to the New Hebrides there. Going to keep an eye out over here for the ships we see here. I don't want to push up with our task force here, simply because there's no need to, and we will come into contact with any defending float planes from the Shortland Islands there, and we did of course lose contact with that surface task force around here, so that could very well be coming down to fight at Guadalcanal soon enough. Other than that, I will see you in a second once again. Okay, so a small situation report for you. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that by the destroyer task force that was towards the Shortland Islands, there was also a submarine spotted, and we have decided to come into contact with that with a couple mariners here, just to scout this out, perhaps get some depth charges on top of them. But what is particularly scary about this is another wolf pack of submarines. There are 3 of them in the area, and that is rather a problem. We are going to try and get in there. I have given the mariners an automatic attack command, onto this one, which we can see. It is not submerging by the looks of it, so we'll see the effectiveness of these depth charges. Hopefully they do something. I'm sure they'll do damage if they hit the surface of the very lightly armoured submarine here, and with, of course, zero armour. But with the small arms fire opening up and the large and slow targets of the mariners, we are in a small threat here. We'll see what happens though. And of course, as ever, that indeed did absolutely nothing. So we'll try again. We'll try and scout this out again with some Catalinas or something, or some more mariners once they've returned to base. We might even want to go with a lot of float planes towards this over here. We do have a few options now of what to strike and what to defend against. Did launch some Wildcats to protect from all of these, but they have run out of fuel, unfortunately. Perhaps we'll send them over again in a second to see what happens. In fact, have a look on Guadalcanal. Did lose the Wildcats, didn't we? We'll send the aircrafters over to double check over there, and we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, see you once again in a second. Alrighty then, so our Lightnings, which were armed with rockets and scouting out for that enemy task force, have been intercepted by some Zeros. This does seem to be some more carrier-based Zeros, of course, with the number of them about, and that is rather scary that they have yet another carrier in this vicinity. This may be off of one we were sighted with the Tambor, but you never know. We have shot down 1 Zero. We'll see how this goes with more and more Zeros sighted here. We're going to have to try and micro this rather well. Quite likely we will lose a lot, or if not all, of our Lightnings here. I am very scared of that. Where is he shooting at? There's nothing there. Let's see. Let's try and go. Is this one going to get shot down? No, it's not. Can you please turn to that? That'd be lovely stuff. Number 7, where are you? Ah, are you going down? No! Please no! That was very early. Really unequal trades here. Number 8, what are you going for? Going for that number 10. Should be absolutely fine there. Just trying to get these Lightnings to turn around. They're not the most manoeuvrable of planes here. They do have a disadvantage towards the Zero in that regard there. I'm losing track of what we've shot down. They've killed 4 Zeros to 2 Lightnings. That is rather unfortunate there. I'm not liking these trades at all. We're not microing this well at all. This is completely my fault. I do think we need to change our course to speeds here. So let's change the speed of this Lightning down. No, it's not going to let us. This is absolute bollocks. You do need more freedom, I think, when you're giving attack commands in dogfights, because this is just unacceptable. Let's go for these planes over here. That might be a bit easier for us. Let's see if we can open up a little bit early with our shots, but nothing too great there. Nothing great at all, actually. Let's try and open up again. It's not going to let us. Okay, it just obeys and disobeys as it pleases. Lovely stuff. Thank you, AI. It's very strange how it decides to do this. That's another Lightning down. We are going to lose this force, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just terrible with the air game here. I'm not getting anywhere with this. Come on, get that one down. Come on. Nope, just deciding not to chase it there. It's rather unfortunate there. Interesting decisions here. I might decide to pull these back. But we are quite likely going to be chased by these Zeros if we do retreat. I just don't want to lose these Lightnings outright is the thing here. But we are destroying quite a few of them. We have destroyed 5 out of the possible 12. Still not quite half of them. We do only have half of our Lightnings left as well. I think what we're going to try and do is get this Lightning to turn around just a little bit and go over to this aircraft here. Please, there we go. This Lightning could turn around as well and go for the number 4. That will be on the back of one of our other Lightnings. how are you doing over here? I want you to try and open up as early as possible, please. Try and get these on the turn. Lovely stuff. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's turn you round a little sharper, shall we? And get you to open up if we can. No, of course not. Why would you? That would make sense if you did. Let's get him to turn around again, go for this one. This lightning EA should be right to go on the back of here. Let's get him to slow down so they do lead a little bit. And I think we're going to tell them to open fire, but he's not listening to us at all. Not listening to us at all. Where are these lightnings going? They need to turn around as quickly as possible. Absolutely disgusting behaviour from our lightnings. And yeah, we only have these two left now, so that's great. Well, that's of course quite the bother there. Rather unfortunate. Please, I'd actually be rather interested to know if anyone else has that sort of difficulty with their planes completely disobeying their commands when you give them very, very strict orders, and actually rather sensible ones in dogfights, because I do feel like you absolutely lose a lot of dogfights because of that issue with the AI there. Otherwise, I think we'll try and get one more engagement in, and that will be it for today, folks. I want to end on some sort of high point. Don't want to leave it there. So we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a second. Well, 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 everyone. We have had the jackpot here. We have finally sighted with our Tambor a rather large surface fleet here, and you know what's in it? Not that. Not that. A Shokaku. So let's target that, absolutely, and it's on the way to intercept us over here. I'm going to tell our Tambor to move in just a little closer, I think. Speed up a tad. We are of course going to identify it there. It is CV. Where are we? Yorktown, Shokaku, there we go. Lovely stuff. Try and get some sort of solution onto there. Our solution, of course, not updating just yet. We're going to put our periscope up, and I'm going to see you in a second when we are, in fact, in range of it. We're going to fire as many torpedoes as possible at it. I am going to fire torpedoes from, I think, both the rear and the front of our ship. We're going to fire them at a, I think, a 2 or 3 degree spread. We'll see what sort of solution we get later on. Unfortunately, it's not going up at all just yet, which is rather strange. Don't know if this is a bug or because we're just not that close to them yet. So there is a, what is the range? Can't see, it's overlapping, a very minor bug there. It is 11 kilometers away from them, so perhaps that's something to do with it. Of course, can't see them in visual range, so that is very much likely to do with it there. It is the poor visibility, actually, of 38%, so we are going to need to move in rather close to them. There is a bit of a layer depth as well we can hide under. We do need to retreat, so I think that's what we're going to do. Go straight in, get a bit closer, and see what happens there. I'll catch you in a second. Well, we are of course in a decent distance from them now, 5.7 kilometers away, and I think that's about as close as we're going to get before they pass over us completely. I am going to fire at a 37-ish% solution, or 40-ish now. I think that's as best as it's going to get with the sea state as it is and the visibility as it is. I'm getting rather impatient. I want to hit this right now, so we're going to fire off as many torpedoes as we can. It's a 3 degree spread because the solution is so terrible. And once they have fired off, I'm going to change our torpedoes, and we're going to fire from the rear as well, and hopefully they will turn back round. I have seen videos of people do that, which is rather strange. The torpedoes should not curve round that much, if you ask me, from the rear. We should have to change our heading to match that, but I will happily take it if it suits us just fine. And if we get some hits in, I would love that. So what we're going to do is reduce our speed down to 0, and we're going to dive and put our periscope down. I think in a minute, actually, we're going to keep contact with that to see if we can see how our torpedoes go. Not expecting too much with the absolutely disgustingly low solution there, but you never know, you never know. And unfortunately after that we did only hit the destroyer with the one torpedo there. I reckon if that was not in the way, if the if the formation of that fleet was not so thick, we might have hit that Shokaku there, but unfortunately with the warning of the destroyer being hit, they were able to take evasive maneuvers and they outran our torpedoes. Unfortunately, we do still have 6 torpedoes available left in our Tambor, so we're going to keep it in action for now, try and get that Shokaku again in the future. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is enough for today. We have run out of time, unfortunately. Thank you all very much for watching, and thank you for keeping with me in that break. That was very kind of you to show support once again. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Just as a side note, I am going to stream on the Sunday of this week. I think we're going to be streaming at, I think, 7 PM British time. So hopefully I will see you then. In the meantime, thank you all very much for watching once again, and I hope all your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.